So Harley's got a service bulletin for the new CVOs. It has to do with the main harness running along the starter motor and potentially sagging in and caught up in the belt. So let's dig in and take a look. Here's the service bulletin released on September 13th of 2023, M1605, main harness repositioning on the 2023 CVO Street Glide and Road Glide. Looking at the bulletin, it informs due to a variance in harness lengths, the harness may require additional cable strap to secure it to the frame. They give you the instructions here. They want you to remove the ECM module, but you can leave it connected. I think you just need to be able to have it free so you can pull up the extra slack should there be any. And then they give us a photograph here, and we can see the concern here is that the harness here along behind the starter motor may dip low, and the belt is right here. So there's a concern that the belt may rub on this harness. You can see from this picture there's a lot of slack in this harness. I can tell you on mine, I'm not seeing that. But they want you to run a zip tie through the frame hole here to pull it secure. So here in the after image, you can see with the zip tie, it's pulled that harness up and tight. So pretty straightforward install. Let's get to the bike and we'll take a look. So here's the main harness, and we can see it's dropping down, and they want you to run a zip tie around this hole here to bring that harness up higher. We'll start by removing the saddlebag and the side cover. So here we can see the ECM, and then the harness attaches here and runs through this hole here. They want you to remove this to create some free play in this harness to allow it to move around a bit. Whenever you're messing with electronics, should you accidentally disconnect this and have the power connected, you could fry it. So it's a good suggestion to remove the fuse. But with a security system, you need to disarm the security system before you pull the fuse. So you have your key fob nearby and turn the bike on. And once it clears the beep, as it did there, you can pull the fuse and the bike will go dead. So the bike has gone dead, pulling the fuse, and no alarm. At this point, you can turn the ignition switch off, so when you reconnect this, it won't power back on. So we'll turn that off, and now we can loosen up the ECM. So to loosen the ECM, there's a little tab right here, conveniently placed, and when you push that in, the whole thing comes loose. They want you then to push it down to free it up from the top clamp. A little jarring, but it's come loose. So now we have a lot of play with the main harness here, so we can maneuver the harness on the other side. So I used a pretty long zip tie, I think a 14-inch, to get around there, but you can see I have it looped through that hole just like the picture. So you'll now pull that tight to bring that harness up. So by pulling up on the zip tie, I was able to raise the harness up and off the starter motor. Again, caution, don't overdo it. You don't want to put too much pressure on that harness or have this zip tie digging into it. So don't overly pull your zip tie. Give it a little wiggle room. Again, it's a motorcycle. Things move around, so you don't want any unneeded stress on your harness. With that complete, they want you to pull any loose slack, which in my case there really isn't any, from your ECM and then reinstall it. So we'll install the ECM in reverse, putting the top in first, and then pushing in on the bottom until it snaps in. It is now secure. We'll install our fuse, and I noticed that this is a 60 amp, 22 volt. So it's the tall version. So I think you can buy this in the mini version so that this cover will fit. We'll take a look on Amazon. So we'll put this in. I'll put the riding up, 2 spade connectors. We'll slide that in. and you can hear the bike beep. So the alarm system is now working again, and we can push the ignition on and the bike boots up. So make sure your work matches the pictures in the service bulletin, that you have the cable tie going through the right hole and it looks just like the picture. That's important. So again, I am not a professional, I'm an enthusiast. I perform this service bulletin just to have content to share with you, but it is highly recommended you have your dealer do this. Schedule the appointment and have them do it so it's recorded and noted by a Harley-Davidson technician. But I hope you found this information useful, and if you did, give me a thumbs up and maybe subscribe. More content is coming. But until next time, in the friction zone.